Hi dear cricket fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to your daily cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. Well, dear friends and subscribers, there are no international matches happening today. But as you know, my daily cricket show is something which every day dwells on this wonderful game that whoever invented it, cricket, which as I said is pure passion for me, and words are just flowing through my passion, and I'm so happy to know that my Cricket Happening show is flourishing in a big way, and all thanks to you, dear friends and subscribers. Well, dear friends and subscribers, as far as today's Cricket Happening show is concerned, well, I'm going to have just looking at something which is coming up as far as cricket is concerned, is tomorrow when the Tri-Series in Zimbabwe has seized the third match of the Tri-Series, which is going to be played between Zimbabwe, who are really, I would say they are really struggling, and they would be taking on the mighty South Africans, who are served a total of 327 made by Australia in just 46.4 overs, with De Villiers and du Plessis. De Villiers going on to make his 18th one-day international century, and Faf du Plessis, after playing 52 one-dayers, getting to his maiden one-day century. So, and as you know, De Villiers and du Plessis are a pair which has always been very successful against Australia, because the other day, you would remember, they stonewalled against Australia to draw a particular test match after losing just one wicket on the whole day. So that is something, they are a very successful pair at that, and they have forged a lot of partnerships for South Africa, and especially against Australia. This pair has been pretty successful. So that was precisely the case, and Australia won and South Africa won the match. Well, the other thing that we look at is yesterday there was a T20 match which was played. So I'll do a brief preview of the South Africa versus Zimbabwe match, which is coming up in the Tri-Series. Yesterday there was once the one-day international series was totally taken over by the West Indies when they drubbed Bangladesh 3-0 in the one-day series. And then there was a solitary T20 match which was taking place yesterday, and unfortunately due to rain, the match was called off with a no result, and what happened was Bangladesh ended up facing 4.4 overs, batting first, and they notched up 31 runs for no wicket. So that is something that happened. And other than that, from Bangladesh we have some news coming in. Now this is a news which came yesterday, but I am covering it today. One of those players from Bangladesh, who unfortunately didn't have a very good, didn't have a long run in Bangladeshi cricket. His name is Aftab Ahmed. He has decided to retire from international cricket, and he's instead going to be pulling up his own cricket academy in Chittagong. As normally, as you know, all the international cricketers normally do that, pulling up their own academies, and that's what he is also precisely going to do, Aftab Ahmed. I'll talk about that. So, but first, let me do a preview of the Zimbabwe versus South Africa clash, which is coming up in the Tri-Series tomorrow. Now, for Zimbabwe, their problems are compounded. As you know, the other day, Zimbabwe already are struggling. We all know this Tri-Series in Zimbabwe, one can probably see the writing on the wall that it is going to be the finals between South Africa and Australia, unless and until Zimbabwe are really able to do something extraordinary. Well, leave alone extraordinary, they are not even able to do the normal stuff here. They are playing in their home ground, but well, they don't look like a team which would be challenging the might of South Africa and Australia. And not only that, now what has happened is that Zimbabwe have really compounded their problems with, the bowling has been something which I thought they did very well when they played in the three-match one-day series against South Africa, even though they lost. But the bowling was in the hands of Tinasha Panyangra, Tendai Chatara, and they had Shingarai Masakadze, I reckon, and like Luke Jongwe. But the problem now for Zimbabwe is that already they are crippled, and now they have one of their players, Tinashe Panyangra, the right-arm pace bowler, being disciplined by Zimbabwe for sharing a video of Mitchell Johnson, which showed some videos of Mitchell Johnson, how he was bowling. Probably that was not something that he is born to do, and that's what he did, and he has been banned for the entire series. So he's going to, this would have been a very good exercise for Tinashe Panyangra to bowl against the likes of the South Africans and Australians, and I thought he has done himself a great harm by doing this. And especially, let me also tell you, the new coach of Zimbabwe is a man who is not going to take anything lying down, and his name is Stephen Mungongo, who is the coach of the Zimbabwe cricket team. And let me tell you, he believes in thorough discipline, and that's what he has done. He has very, very clearly said that he won't tolerate any stuff like that. Everything should be done in a very, very disciplined manner, and if any indiscipline is not going to be tolerated. And Stephen Mungongo is already coming pretty hard on everybody, and he's already said that no player can take their places for granted in the team, and he is someone who really, really wields the axe there, I would say. Stephen Mungongo, the new Zimbabwean coach, is pretty strong, and I think that is something which is very good. But for Zimbabwe, as I said, especially considering that they are really, really struggling, and now Tinashe Panyangra goes, I think their bowling resources are going to be pretty depleted, because Tinashe Panyangra, even though he's not vastly experienced, but he had some experience, and now that is going to be a blow, because he's a pace bowler and he has been doing pretty well too, and now he finds himself out of the team for the entire tri-series, which is a shame. And especially considering that you are playing against your home crowd, bowling in front of the home crowd, and that is something that I'm sure Tinashe Panyangra is definitely going to learn from his mistakes, and he's going to be a better person when he once again comes back into the Zimbabwe team. So Zimbabwe, well, if you look at the Zimbabwean team, their experimentation with Tino Mowoyo, their opening combination has really not been clicking. My opinion would be, what I would really suggest for Zimbabwean cricket right now would be to have the trusted pair of Hamilton Masakadze, who is definitely a very good opener, because Zimbabwe have been struggling, and you are facing the mighty South Africans and Australians. I think they experimented with Richmond Mutumbami in South Africa, that failed, and now Tino Mowoyo in the first match failed. Probably they might give him one more chance tomorrow against South Africa. But I think if once again Tino Mowoyo is going to fail, or Sikandar Raja, if that opening combination is not going to click, I would rather suggest that Hamilton Masakadze, who made 70 runs in the first match against Australia, should be pivoted into the opening spot, and he should be the man who should be opening with Sikandar Raja. Well, Sikandar Raja is a very good stroke maker, and Hamilton Masakadze is one also a good stroke maker, but also he plays the percentage game very well. So I think Hamilton Masakadze and Sikandar Raja should be the openers, and then probably get Tino Mowoyo down the order. Now that is for the Zimbabwe think tank to really look into it, but this is my opinion as far as Zimbabwe, because I think Tino Mowoyo can definitely be given a chance tomorrow and see how he goes. Well, if he succeeds, that would be great. Otherwise, I think Hamilton Masakadze should come and open with Sikandar Raja, because Sikandar Raja is looking pretty confident with his stroke making, and he has certain runs. He looked good too against South Africa the other day, against Australia the other day. Now Tino Mowoyo, and so okay, Brendan Taylor. Now, as I said, for Zimbabwe, the main focus of batting would revolve around the likes of Hamilton Masakadze, Brendan Taylor, because they are all the experienced blokes there. Sean Williams is another very consistent player, and then Elton Chigumbura, the captain, who has to always lead from the front. So it is very essential for Brendan Taylor, Sean Williams, Chigumbura, Masakadza, all of them get into the run-making mode. Richmond Mutumbami, the wicket-keeper now, he will be coming in numbers, but he's also a good batsman. And then we come to the Prosper Utsaya as a very useful bat too. And then we come to the tail-enders like whether it is going to be Shingirai, Masakadza, because Zimbabwe and South Africa, well, Zimbabwe definitely know what South Africa would do because they have already had a good look at them in the 3 one-day internationals. So probably, I'm sure that Stephen Mangongo would be sitting with his mates and trying to chisel together a very good a team strategy to play against South Africa, because they know the strengths and weaknesses of the South Africans, and it will be good to see how much homework the Zimbabwe cricket team has done when they take on South Africa tomorrow. That would be a real test according to me. So Luke Jongwe, and then they have Tendai Chatara, and as I said, and Brian Vittori I think should be playing tomorrow. So basically for Zimbabwe the bowling, but the bowling after, as I said, after Tinashe Panyangra is out of the tri-series, I think Zimbabwe are very looking pretty crippled there, and they don't have much of a sort of a real oomph in the pace bowling attack, and then they have to rely on the spinners like Prosper Utsaya, probably Hamilton Masakadza's military medium pace, Elton Chigumbura. So well, that is not something which you would like to have against such mighty teams like South Africa and Australia. So so for Zimbabwe, they have their task absolutely cut out when they play against South Africa. But what would be good to see is that whether Zimbabwe have a different strategy that they would like to unveil against South Africa tomorrow, to see how much they have done their homework after losing the series against South Africa 3-0. Now, as far as South Africa are concerned, they are looking good. In fact, I mean, who would say after beating Australia in such a convincing fashion, even after chasing 327, that says a lot about this South African team. And well, for them, Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock, they definitely started off in a very belligerent fashion, and then they lost the wickets. Du Plessis and de Villiers are coming back, will be playing Zimbabwe after making centuries, and then Dumini also played well. David Miller, David Miller, what a good late order hitter he can be, and he is someone who can really derange the Zimbabwean bowling attack if he really gets going. And then the all-rounder Ryan McLaren and Wayne Parnell, and then the pace bowling, which is always a big strength for South Africa, with Dale Steyn and Mone Morkel hurling in the new cherry, and then Imran Tahir, who is having a very good one-day record as far as wickets are concerned, and he also bowled well against Australia too. So definitely I think Zimbabwe will have the task cut out. No doubt we can very safely say that South Africa are absolute favourites tomorrow in this match against Zimbabwe. Now we will leave from Zimbabwe and we will head towards Bangladesh, West Indies. As I said, Bangladesh, West Indies yesterday, it was a solitary T20 match which was played, and unfortunately due to rain, the match only 4.4 overs were bowled. The Bangladeshi openers notched up 31 for no loss in 4.4 overs, with Tamim Iqbal not out on 11 of 20 balls with 9 balls with 1 4, and Anamul Haq cracking a 6 and a 4 after making an unbeaten 19 in as many balls. And finally there were 31 for no loss. Santoki bowled 2 overs, which was very costly, which was very surprising that Krishmar Santoki, who did very well in the Caribbean Premier League 2014, and also is a very good one-day T20 bowler. He is a specialist T20 bowler, but yesterday he got taken for runs. His 2 overs cost him 18 runs, and then Sean Cottrell got 2 overs and made a none for 5, and Darren Bravo got a 6 hit off by Anamul Haq, none for 8. Unfortunately the play was called off and the one-off match was drawn. Now the other news, I would like to keep it in Bangladesh. The reason being, we are talking about a little known player. Not many people might know him. His name is Aftab Ahmed, but one would really remember Aftab Ahmed for one particular knock. And the reason that I'm speaking about Aftab Ahmed is that he was the one would remember that there was a famous match which Bangladesh played. Now Bangladesh have not played a lot of a lot of matches that one would remember, but this match would definitely come to memory, and that was in a match where I think it was the World Cup, if I'm not wrong. Bangladesh were playing Australia in Cardiff. That was back in 2005, and Aftab Ahmed was a hero, because what he did when Bangladesh required probably 6 to win, he hit one of those famous Australian fast bowlers, Jason Gillespie, who does English county cricket coaching now. He was hit for a 6 in the last over by this particular batsman, Aftab Ahmed. And well, he didn't play a lot of test matches for Bangladesh. The reason being, one would remember that before this Indian Premier League took place, there was something known as which started in India amidst a lot of controversy, and that was the it was not a Premier League basically. One called it the Indian Cricket League. Unfortunately, it didn't take off, and after that only the Indian Premier League was born. But this was a rebel Indian Cricket League, because the ICC had not given permission for this was something which was away from the normal game, and it was called the Rebel Indian Cricket League. And Aftab Ahmed, because of going and playing for the Rebel Indian Cricket League, found himself not in favor of Bangladesh, because for 3 years he played in the Indian Cricket League, the Rebel Indian Cricket League one would say, and he found himself out of the team. So basically he lost that opportunity, and because of that Aftab ended playing up only 11 tests for Bangladesh. But more, if you look at his track record, he's more a very aggressive player, so he was mostly suited to the mode of one day and T20s, and well, unfortunately, as I said, but as far as one day matches were concerned, he played 85 matches, and that was it. I mean, his career was pretty truncated, and that was the end of Aftab Ahmed. And since Aftab Ahmed couldn't do much, and he didn't contribute, as I said, it has been a struggle for him, and finally he decided now, like a lot of youngsters are really knocking on the doors of Bangladeshi cricket, he decided that it's time for him to say goodbye. And so Aftab Ahmed has announced that he is going to retire at this end of this 2014-15 season, and he says that he's going to be doing some coaching, and he's also going to set up his own academy, which would be in his hometown, Chittagong. So good luck to Aftab Ahmed. So that is something I wanted to share. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I think it's about time for me to end my cricket show for today. Thanks for your company, and thanks for regularly watching Cricket Happenings. Your host Ram will be seeing you tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.